goes in now while I had the time while I'm on my way to work. So I don't know how tired I'm gonna be. So, but just watching that, game 7 last night and how Boston just completely laid an egg. At the end of the day, if you're gonna come from 3 down and force a game 7, you got to complete the mission. Because at the end of the day, the Celtics took complete momentum away from the Heat, and they was in place to make history. Force a game 7 and then win and go to the NBA Finals. And basically, they just had a total collapse in that game, and ended up getting blew out. They didn't just lose, they got blew out. So now, who looks worse? At the end of the day, the Miami Heat is going to the NBA Finals, and the Boston Celtics is not. Even though the NBA desperately wanted a Celtics-Lakers Finals, they not getting it. You're going to get the Heat versus the Denver Nuggets, which I think is still going to be a solid Finals. And I think this is the NBA's chance to sell Jokic. Once again, this is another opportunity for the NBA to start to basically build the league itself around small market teams. Colorado, Denver is a small market team. Like I said, there's a lot of things that the NBA could do to retweak its league. Ain't so much built around players, but then no matter who goes to the most part, always have high ratings where they rely on star power. They build the league strictly around, stars, so-called stars, players, faces. We all know in the NFL, you're not as visible as a Major League Baseball player or a basketball player, because a lot of the time when you're playing, you have a helmet on. So unless they flash a picture of what you look like without the helmet, people may not recognize you. That's why a lot of times at functions, a lot of times NFL players can slip through cracks a lot of times, unless you somebody like Aaron Rodgers, who does a lot of commercials, or somebody, or of course, because they were doing commercials, they were always out there, and Tom Brady, because they were always pushed. So that's the difference. But they have a chance to anoint Jokic as one of the premier stars of the league. Now, who do I think the NBA wants to win? To a certain degree, I don't think they have a horse in the race. I just think they're disappointed that it isn't the Lakers versus the Celtics, the traditional key matchup that you've seen for years. But like I said before, do a better job of marketing market teams. I mean, I have some ideas I can share with the NBA, but they have to set up a meeting, and it's going to cost them. I have some great ideas as far as marketing goes. And I think that was one of the things that hurt the San Antonio Spurs, because the San Antonio Spurs, they drew such low ratings whenever they went to the finals, because they were considered a hard-working blue-collar team. Not to mention they had Tim Duncan and a lot of foreign players, and who mostly just played basketball. And ironically, people find that boring. But these were the same people that would complain about Allen Iverson. Go figure. But getting back to Jayson Tatum, this is like the second year in a row Jayson Tatum has just drifted off into, I'd heard all this kind of stuff. Jayson Tatum played 40 minutes. He played 40 minutes last night and scored 14 points. So you could save that excuse. So what was the excuse last year? And listen, I'm not pocket watching, but at the end of the day, if a team is set to give you a $300 million contract, allegedly, look, they want rings. Not a ring, they want rings. Even if you only manage to produce one ring, that's you underachieving. They want you winning 2 and 3, maybe even 4. But he just don't seem to be the guy that you can rely on, like when it's all on the line. He disappeared in that finals versus the Warriors. They to step up, and it was all on the line. Well, he only managed to 15 points. So my thing is, if you're gonna pay him that kind of money, man, you got to produce championships. Now, some people are saying, should they break up the team? I think it's a little too early to blow up. I think due to the fact that they were down 3-0 and managed to win 3 straight games and force Game 7, I think Joe Mazzulla, I think he deserves to at least stay there for a few more years. I don't know if they extended his contract or whatnot. I haven't looked into that, but due to the fact that they fought back and forced a Game 7 shows me that, okay, cool. But the thing is, they got blew out at home. And I've always said this about home court advantage. Home court advantage is, to me, to a certain degree, is a tad bit overrated. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you playing at. If the team is just the better team, they're going to beat you whether you at home or not. At the end of the day, you see that the Heat went in there and they basically demolished the Celtics. Embarrassing loss. They didn't get beat. They got fourth quarter came around. Basically, Boston was just in survival decency mode. What I mean by survivor decency mode, they just didn't want to they knew the game was lost. They just didn't want to get blew out or lose by a certain amount of points. They could have lost by like 30, 35 points. That's just real. Don't be too embarrassing, but that's just factual. It's just some players, I don't want to use any reference to Skip Bayless. It's just some players they just ain't money. They good like in the regular season, they good in the playoff, but when it's like, we need you, we down by 6 and there's 50 seconds to go, we need you to bring us back. We need you to keep us in this game. We need you to win this game for us. We need you to force overtime. And it's just certain players that just don't happen, and that's fine. And it's always going to be players like that. That's going to be good in the regular season, but in the playoff, you can't count on them. James Harden is going back to the Houston Rockets, from what the reports are saying. So James Harden came to grips that he's not going to probably win a championship. He's just a dude that wants status pats, stat pad and make some money. That's just how it is. It's just going to always be that guy. There's going to be dudes that want to be legends. Then they just going to be dudes that want to be a good player, make money, and you know what I'm saying, and just put up good statistics. You have the guys that want to win championships, then you have the analytic guys. And that's what James Harden is. He a guy that just cares about his numbers. He's already admitted that he doesn't really care about really winning championships. James Harden is a guy you can't rely on him. And I'm starting to see that in Jayson Tatum. I mean, there's still a chance for Jayson Tatum, but once you get handed $300 million, you got to produce. You got to produce. And that's just real talk. You got to produce. You got to put up the numbers. You got to, you know what I'm saying? You got to bring championships. You got to have them hoisting up trophies. You got to have them hanging championship banners. And I just wonder, does Jayson Tatum have that in him? But anyway, we shall see. It's your boy Tan. I'm out.